putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Up Singapore as a model of justice. Singapore, a state where not only do they give death penalty to drug dealers, but they also whip people. He talked about with glee the roughness of ICE, the way that people were being dragged. He was using verbs that presidents shouldn't ever use when discussing justice. Yeah. So there was a dark side to this speech, and it was very painful, not only to hear people applaud it, but to hear people applaud when he jokingly talked about being president for life. Yeah. So I think that there's a side to this that is upsetting. Part of it was great performance, but part of it was upsetting. I think that what Democrats have to take from this, however, is that Donald Trump has changed the Republican Party. He attacked Ronald Reagan, probably with no consequences at all. He attacked Peggy Noonan, Ronald Reagan's muse.
He liked her, so she was nice.
But attacked. He has changed this party. He's turning it into a protectionist party, and it's working. The Republican Party of today is not the Republican Party of Ronald Reagan, and the Democrats have to be very careful in how they fight the Republican Party. It's not one that they've met with before.
I love that clip. I love it, love it, love it. That was Neftali, and he was on MSNBC, and he says that Trump's speech was scary to him. It was scary. It had dark language. And one of the things that I focused on when he says is when the people applauded when Trump said about Xi being, president for life, and we should try that in America, and knowing it was a joke, but it was scary to him. But here's what was most interesting about that clip. What was most interesting is he says Donald Trump talked about Reagan, and he said negative things about Reagan, which, look, I can tell you right now, Reagan's policy on immigration stunk. It stunk. And he ushered in massive spending, spending more than we bring in. And that was the year that we really put it on steroids. But that's about all you can say negative about Reagan. I mean, he was optimistic, et cetera. But if there's anybody who has a right to say Reagan didn't get it right, it's Donald Trump. And he's going... The Republicans allow him to say this. There's going to be no repercussion. They can't believe it. It would be like somebody saying something negative against Barack Obama and people going, well, yeah, you got to admit it. He's right about it. See, what Trump has been able to do is he's been able to say, look, let's be truthful here, folks. Reagan was amazing, but he did give us deficit spending, and his policy on immigration, it would have been right had he stopped it. But he didn't. Now, I didn't hear what he said negative about Reagan. I don't even know. But I can tell you what the negativity for me on Reagan is. But the positivity of Reagan far outweighs the negativity. And the beautiful thing is that we can talk about it as conservatives and say we recognize it. I remember when people would tell me, well, Reagan's stance on immigration was much like the Democrats. And I went, yeah, and it was a mistake. He made a mistake. He legalized illegals and got nothing for it. That's not what Trump's going to do. But what I really liked is he says he's not like the Republicans of before. The Republican Party has changed. That is a good thing. The whole time I was in LA and doing media, because I was on Fox and Friends, I think, on Saturday, and then the Hilton show on Sunday, and then coming back. And I'm talking to, just looking at people and having conversations and things like this. And in my conversations, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, the Republican Party has indeed changed. It's changed for the better. What's keeping these leftists, and I talked to a few of them in California, what keeps them off kilter is they don't know what to do with Trump. They don't know how to deal with him. They don't. They're like, how do we deal with a guy who they believe lies? Because when Trump says, well, hey, we'll look into this, he's not promising something. He's just saying, I'll look into it, but if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. But he doesn't finish it. And he jumps around a bit and he keeps them off kilter. And that's exactly what he said he would do. Not like the Republicans they know. Not like the Republicans they can predict. Not like the Republicans that they can put off kilter. They know if we go after you and put the media on you or whatever, you're going to fold like a cheap lawn chair. Those Republicans are gone. This new breed of Republican is, I don't know, it's like not to go all crazy on you, but it's that new strain of gonorrhea. Forget penicillin. They're going to hang around. They see us as a disease. They really do. What's even more funny is they see us as they see us as crazy. They're like, what do we do? They don't react. They're not running. They're not doing what we're used to them doing. What do we do? Oh my gosh. See, they have controlled us to such a degree that we're going. I mean, I love it. I think it's so cool that I can predict this. I know what we're going to do because we are the new breed. I think that I hate to say it this way because it'll sound like I'm bragging, but I'm part of the reason that this new Republican exists. I can't tell you guys, I've gotten tens of thousands of messages from you guys saying, Kevin, I saw you on TV, man. You made me feel good about being a Republican. And so I know you're getting bolstered, but they don't know how to handle you. You're no longer predictable. You're no longer, they can't count on you to turn tail and run. And they don't know what to do. Pennsylvania election. I was asked if I think the Republican will win. What's his name? Saccone? I'm reading this. AP. President Donald Trump told Western Pennsylvania voters Saturday night that his new tariffs were saving the steel industry and urged them to send a Republican to the House so he can keep delivering those kinds of results. And all the pundits are going, President Trump, it's a dangerous thing. He's putting it on the line, that he's going into PA. Let me tell you what President Trump did. Donald Trump Jr. went in, I think on Monday or something, and they're all shoring up. They're saying, look, this is an important race. We're not leaving it to chance. Republicans, get off your butts, get somebody there, make it a big deal. And because Donald Trump did that, it's going to have that extra factor, positive factor. It isn't going to motivate Democrats. It cracks me up that people believe that in steel country, in coal country, who's saving steel jobs? Donald Trump. Who saved coal jobs? Donald Trump. And they're concerned. They're saying, well, the Democrats could do this or that. Let me tell you something. That is so underestimating the people of Pennsylvania. It's ridiculous. The people of Pennsylvania are smarter than that. Trump came out and says, we need our Congressman Saccone, a tune-up for the GOP's efforts to maintain its control of Capitol Hill is what they wrote at the AP. Hitting peak campaign mode for himself, he revived many of his favorite 2016 riffs and even touted his planned 2020 slogan, Keep America Great. President warned, we can only do this if we elect people who are going to back our agenda. What was funny to me, they said, well, even Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, they disagree with the president on tariffs. And I'm thinking to myself, what you're doing is you're selling the notion that President Trump knows exactly what he's doing. The fact that the Republicans disagree is exactly the ammo he needs. They disagreed on taxes, and look what happened. They disagree on tariffs. Already, U.S. Steel says, here's more jobs. Other steel companies are going to do the same. Manufacturing is responding to all of the disagreements that that the Republicans, well, hey, they're interchangeable, had with President Trump. Who wins in the end when these disagreements occur? Anybody? Come on. I'm listening. By the way, 844-551-8255. Who wins in the end? Donald Trump. And I love what he said. The people of Pittsburgh cannot be conned by this guy, Lamb. This is the guy that's trying to be slick, this Lamb guy. I'm a Marine. Yeah, and I'm distancing myself from Nancy Pelosi. And by the way, I'm a Second Amendment guy. They wanted to drag those conservatives over to the Democrat Party. Good luck with that strategy. Might have worked if it was a Romney. Might have worked if it was, one of these other rhino candidates, it isn't going to work with Donald Trump. You vote for the agenda and you put a Republican in there or not. And let me tell you, there are going to be a lot of people hiding out, and we're going to get a lot more active in these campaigns. Certainly the Tea Party community will. We're going to get a lot more active. But nobody's fooled by these folks. The tactics of the left no longer work. And by the way, the right uses these tactics too. They act like they care about us, and they don't either.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.